everybody, and welcome to the AUC St. Maarten campus tour. We are very excited to be with you all today and share with you the amazing campus that we have down there in St. Maarten. We have some awesome students here with us today helping out facilitate this tour, along with our faculty and staff that are on board to show you their spots on campus and what's so great about being an AUC student down in St. Maarten. So with that being said, I just want to introduce myself first. My name is Monica Cinch. I am the Assistant Director of Admissions here at AUC in the North Central Territory. And I work with students from the minute they're really interested in AUC all the way until they actually start their class and are down there like these students here in St. Maarten or on our campus in the United Kingdom. Those are international students that get to study over there, and it's a really great opportunity. And you can always reach out to us with any questions that you have regarding admissions here at AUC. I should mention that for this May of 2022, there is an MCAT waiver. If you are deciding whether or not to apply because it's difficult to get it scheduled up for an MCAT, that is something that we can discuss with you. And then the deadline to apply for the May term is April 1st. We also have some terms open for September and January of 2023. I cannot believe it. 2023 is already up on the board. So we're excited to hopefully see you applying soon. As we go throughout the tour today, please drop your questions in the chat. We are here to answer all of your questions, and I will also put my information in the chat so that you can reach out to me directly with any questions that you have. But without further ado, I'd like to introduce our students. We have four students down on island right now that are, facilitating the tour, recording, being there for us. And then we also have Nia, who is remote, who is going to be another host with me, answering questions as we go along. So we're super lucky to have you all here. And I'm gonna let Nia introduce herself first.
Hi, my name is Nia Crosby. I'm a third semester student here, and I'm originally from Cincinnati, Ohio.
Awesome, thank you. And let's start with Jessica, and then we'll go on to Jordan.
Hi, my name is Jessica. I'm a fifth semester student here at AUC. We're going to show you our beautiful campus, and this is my colleague. Hi, I'm Jordan. I'm a fourth semester here at AUC, and yeah, let's get started. So here's our for AUC, and we're going to show you our COVID protocols that we follow every day while entering campus. So every day we fill out something called the Safe app at AUC, and we show it to the security guards, and they take your temperature every single day, and that is how you get into campus. I just wanted to let you guys know what the protocols here are on campus. So this is our beautiful and we go on. As you can see, there's a lot of students that just got out of class. Hi, students. In building one, we have a lot of amazing rooms and things that we can do. We're going to start off with the gym. And as we're walking through, this is the first building at AUC campus. We have two buildings. And over here, there's some lockers that you could see. The lockers you can use every day. I use them because I play basketball, so I leave change of clothes and basketball in there. They're very useful. We're going to bring you into the rotunda in a second. We just first wanted to take you to the gym because that's an important part of campus is mental health and daily working out, exercising, if that's what you're into. So first we're going to bring you into the gym.
All right. So when you first come into the gym, there's usually someone here to check you in. Every day when you come to the gym, you get 1 hour. You have to schedule it on a website, like a scheduling website, and then you get to come in.
Yeah. So you check in, you could play some ping pong. I've been playing it a long time. And there's a couple rooms here in the gym. This is one of the rooms where you can either do spinning, you could do boxing. We have some students working out in here right now.
Awesome. It's so sunny in there. I love that.
And the gym just got some updated machines, so that's exciting. You can see some students are exercising. We have a bunch of different like bench presses and mats. You could do like legs and bench. Absolutely everything that you want to do. You can do here in the gym. I love it. I come here all the time.
So yeah, I just came here this morning.
All right. Here, let's go this way.
What are the hours of the gym?
The hours, so they could be 24/7.
Oh,
It depends
awesome.
protocols. If sometimes it gets reduced to like morning, say 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. But right now it's 24 hours a day.
Perfect. Wonderful.
And you back out, and if you want, we could send you to the host to answer a couple questions, and we'll bring you to the rotunda in building 1.
Perfect. Thank you.
So closer.
All right. So I'm going to bring Nia up for the spotlight. Nia, I was wondering, what was it like when you first moved to St. Martin?
Oh, wow. So I actually moved in the middle of my first semester after
Okay.
our first round of exams, because we were still technically online.
That's right.
Yeah, but I moved into the dorms. They luckily had a spot for me, and it was a new experience for sure because I had never been further than 2 hours away from home. But I ended up loving it, and I made a ton of friends living in the dorms. And like security, as soon as I got to the security gate at AUC, like they grabbed my bags and helped me move everything into my dorm room. So it was just a great experience overall.
Oh, awesome. Well, I'm glad to hear that everyone was really helpful and it made it seem, welcoming in those first, kind of
Yes.
scary moments of I'm moving far from home. What am I going to do? So perfect. Awesome. I'm going to switch over to the rotunda. I'll be back for more. I have more questions for you, Nia.
Okay.
This is just like the central part of building 1 on the ground floor. So here you can see the housing department. So the housing department, they take care of all the residential dorms and everything like that. And then we
Awesome.
also have the registrar of financial aid, which will give you your residency card and your insurance card when you get here. Also, we have those cards.
The video rental cards to students on campus, and you get good discounts, and I've used them for months at a time, and it's a great option. We're going to bring you over to the research lab and have our colleagues self and talk a little bit about the research that's going on here.
Perfect.
Rotunda, it's an open center, it's beautiful. Students like to study in here.
Awesome. It's beautiful.
So this is our research lab. We come here for COVID testing. And colleagues. So COVID testing where you get randomly selected to help keep COVID precautions and make sure that everyone is safe on campus and make sure that we limit the contact of spread. So every once in a while, you'll get a random COVID test. You come here, you get tested, and they also have labs like here where they're doing research, which our colleague is going to tell us about. Hello, so you'd like to introduce yourself to the tour?
Sure. So my name is Helder Gutierrez. I'm the lab technician here. I'm also part of the COVID mitigation team, where we do antigen testing for everyone on campus. So I can show you right here. This is where this is the spot we do the testing here. Like I said, we do antigen testing. So we'll take a sample and then we'll run your sample on a cassette, and you'll receive your results within 30 minutes. Policies of getting tested would change depending on the pandemic here on the island. So for right now, we do random selection. We'll take like 20% of the student population every 2 weeks. But we also do some laboratory research. One of the research projects we're doing right now is the water quality testing, where we test beach and marine waters for bacterial contamination. And that project's actually in the other lab, so if you can walk me over there, please. So that project's being carried out right here. In fact, we actually went out today to get some samples. We actually ran the samples here. They're still growing, so tomorrow we'll know if, Mullet Bay has any bacteria in it. But for now, it's been okay.
Awesome.
That's right now. But thank you for stopping by.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right, so we're gonna send you to the host and we're gonna bring you to a lecture hall in a minute.
Awesome. All right. So I have another question for Nia. So far that you've been on campus, what has been the favorite, I guess, part of campus? Where do you spend the most time when you're down on campus?
Oh, that's a tough question. Honestly, I really like the outdoor open spaces of campus.
Cool.
So the patio, I eat lunch there every day with my friends. And then also the dorms, they have like a rooftop that has like a bunch of tables out there. So especially when I was living there, but even now, sometimes when I just, want some peace and quiet, but like outside, I study up there. So it's nice, some fresh air, but also some good study time.
Absolutely. I've heard about, I think we're going to see that later on in the tour, the rooftop and the on-campus housing. So
Yes.
we will definitely get to see that. Thank you.
All right, so this is lecture hall 2. It's right off the rotunda in building 1. This is a designated talking space. A lot of our spaces on campus are quiet to keep a environment conducive to learning and studying. But this room you can come to and talk to your friends. Also on Sundays, we have Christian Medical Dental Association meetings in here, where they have a service, a Sunday service.
Oh, cool. Very good. And typically, and I want to stop and ask a quick question. So here is a classroom, right? So usually lectures are recorded, if I'm not mistaken, right? Can you kind of explain that to the viewers?
Absolutely. So there's a couple classrooms here that we're going to be seeing today. This one doesn't have classes often as the other ones. Those ones are the more popular classrooms that we usually have our class in. The classes are recorded and they get uploaded in case you can't make it live that day. And you could watch it at your convenient 1x speed, 2x speed, however you want. So that's the convenience of having classes recorded, or if you want to come live too, or do both. So it's awesome.
Yep.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you. Nia, do you normally attend all of your classes? Do you prefer to watch them virtually? Do you do a little bit of both?
I do a little bit of both. We actually had class in lecture hall 2 yesterday for the first time because we had this integrated activity. We had to do a case and it combined all of our classes. It was actually very cool, but that was the first time I've had class in there. But I do a little bit of both. Sometimes it's nice to be able to watch it, a little bit faster, or just like being able to pause it when you can, just to write down notes and go back. But yeah, I'd say I'm a little bit of both.
Good. Hey, I always say it's really important to know how you study best, and you have to do, what works for you and make sure you stay on top of it. So perfect.
Yeah,
good to know.
Exactly.
All right, so we're still in building 1. We're on the 2nd floor right now. Behind us right here, we have the Dean Suite. And in the Dean Suite, of course, the Dean is in there. Also, sometimes you'll get randomly selected for drug screenings and you have to show up here for that. And as you can see, there's some photos on the wall. We're gonna take you around and bring you to the library, which my colleague is gonna speak about because she spent a lot of her time studying in the library. And I think that she can give us an idea of what it's like in there. Also here we have the Associate Dean Suite for Academic Affairs. We have a couple of deans located in there as well. And on the wall, we have a bunch of pictures. We have Paul Tien, our founder, and a lot of other MDs that graduated. We're walking into the library now.
All right, so in the library, I'm going to try to be a little quiet because there are students in there studying. So these are study rooms that you can book for up to 5 hours a day on the library website, and there's a whole hallway full of them. And actually, if you go back here, also student affairs, the Office of Student Affairs in this corner. I see.
So actually, I have a colleague in here that's studying, so I just wanted to sneak in and show you one of the rooms really quick. So this is one of the study rooms that you can book for up to 5 hours. They have its own table, chairs, and you do have a whiteboard that you could rent some markers for and utilize the whiteboard as well.
Circulation desk where anybody can assist you with everything you need. There's also a study room in here. I'll let the camera. Behind me, this is the 24-hour study room. You can come in here any time of day. Because the library hours are from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. Anytime after that, you can come in this room and study anytime you want.
And the students are wanting to know what type of resources they can find in the library. So we'll come up into this room. If you'd like to talk as well, you want to say anything? We're giving a tour and they just want to know what kind of resources are available for them in the library.
Okay, you mean that in terms of the books?
Yeah.
Everything that they're studying, they can find it here or online.
Okay.
Okay, and we have this where they can use it while they are in the library.
And the students can rent it out. So
Yes,
here, this is a
not
really,
this, not this.
Okay.
Right in there.
you have some
All
important
this.
ones. So we have
Yes.
important books in here, first aid books that you can rent out and use while you're in the library.
Yes,
We also have more study rooms in here.
yes.
And
Those are- you
students
can
rent those
reserve
out.
them online.
All right, you could also use an online library as well and rent out any book and look at any book that you need.
Study room, if you prefer the sensory blockout type study.
Yeah.
And this is what's called the reading room. You can come in here, there's 2 students to a table to follow COVID protocols. And this is open from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. as long as the library is open.
My favorite part about it is that each spot has an outlet and you can plug in your computers wherever you're sitting, no matter where you sit, there's always an outlet right there. So now we're gonna bring you to another lecture hall. So we'll bring you to the host really quick.
Can I ask you both a question really quick before we move into a quiet space? So the textbooks that you get on campus or for classes, those are all available online, correct? And then if you
Yes.
want the hard copy, you can get it in the library?
Yes, exactly. So the textbooks are always available online and the teachers will tell you which textbooks are for each class. And you can access it through the e-library. Also
Okay.
another option that is in the library that is very useful is the printing that you have available here. So I'll come here sometimes and print out some papers. I think it's like 5 cents a paper, but it's really useful to use. If you like to print out all of your notes, you have the option to do so.
Awesome, perfect. Thank you. All right, Nia, I have a question. So when you are, prepping and studying and trying to organize your time, what are some of the tactics that you use or any on-campus resources that you use to make sure that you are on top of all of your schoolwork?
So a big help, actually, my first semester, I talked to my advisor and I kind of voiced my concerns that was the one thing that I was like kind of concerned about was like time management. How do I figure everything out? Like I'm obviously in a new place and med school is its own beast.
Yep.
So kind of like, what do I do?
Absolutely.
And he gave me some great advice. And I've been implementing that into my daily life. I actually use a planner instead of just, buying one and never touching it. Like I
Yeah,
said before.
that's important.
Yeah.
I'm definitely guilty of that.
Yeah, exactly. So I use that. And because there's so many people that are, in your class, that are also doing the same things as you, like you have a good support system that helps you, And our SGA reps, they send reminders literally every single time we have something due, which is fantastic.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so nothing ever gets missed because they're always on top of it, telling us when stuff has to be turned in and what we need to do for that day or that week. So there are a lot of
Definitely.
people here that are willing to help you. So it's a very, very helpful environment, I'd say.
Definitely. Oh, good. I'm glad you mentioned that. And I want to clarify, SGA is Student Government Association. That's one of the many student organizations on campus. And as we go out throughout the tour, we'll probably talk a lot about student organizations and extracurriculars. So, all right, I'm going to jump back to campus. Thanks, Mia.
All right, so this is lecture hall 3. This is another lecture hall where you have lectures. Sometimes you come in here and they'll have examinations in here, and you'll have liners for each spot that you're sitting. There are TVs for the projection. Sometimes if you like to sit in the back of the classroom, you could still see what's on the projection through the TVs, and that's what's really useful. The other lecture hall downstairs also has this, and students need to come in here and study it. It's a quiet zone, so you can see students studying now. Just across from us, we have another hall. It's called Chertok Hall over there. In that hall is another study space as well, and there are sometimes classes, clubs, and organizations will meet here as well. And that's just above the gym, just to give you an orientation. On that side, we have the MCB department, which is the molecular cellular biology department. And just over here, we're going to have the physiology and neuroscience department. So this is where our professors are. So the office hours, you just walk in, talk to them at any time. They're very useful. And also, I wanted to mention every couple areas that you go, you're gonna see a water fountain, and it has the fresh water. So you can just put your water bottle up right to it, and it gives you fresh water. They do have the cups here if you are thirsty and don't have a cup, you could use that as well. We're gonna bring you downstairs now to the cafeteria and the patio area, one of my favorite places on campus, of course, because it's food, right?
Yep. And while we're moving down, I want to ask Mia, what about office hours? How have you used office hours or your colleagues? What do you know about them?
Professors typically they try to have them at least once a day. Sometimes it changes whether it's virtual or in the office, especially with COVID. We've had a lot more virtual office hours, but they just send out their personal Zoom link and you just join that. And you can literally ask anything you want, or you can literally just talk. They like to get to know us. So it's very a cool experience to get to know the professors on a personal one-to-one level using office hours.
So here we have the ATM right in the rotunda. If you ever need any cash or anything, it's available here, and also another spot in building 2, which we'll show later on in the tour.
And as we're walking down this way, we're entering building 1. We're gonna go towards the cafeteria. And on the way there, we have the multi-purpose room
It's just a playroom where people go to study sometimes also, or they'll have when you come register, you can come register in the multi-purpose room. Just like it says, multi-purpose.
Yeah.
Water fountain here.
And the lockers that I mentioned earlier, they're all over building 1. As we're walking towards the cafeteria, I just wanted to mention the bookstore and the service center. So they sell the first aid books if you ever need to buy one, and DRS pathology, which is one of the books that students like to use as extra material. And they sell white coats in here, and scrubs and pins, and really anything you need, school supply needs. If you want to think of it as a mini Office Depot, it's that kind of. And we're gonna bring you over to the cafeteria now.
I just wanted to mention as well, they sell ICM supplies, so if you ever need anything like a reflex hammer, pen light, anything like that for ICM, they have it in there where they can order it for you.
And have you ever bought anything from the online bookstore, or have you been able to, you order it there and you pick it up in the bookstore, correct?
Yeah, I ordered my white coat on the online bookstore, and that it worked out because they didn't have my size at the time, and they ordered it, and I was able to receive my size. You can see here in the cafeteria, we have some students that are ordering food, and you can come in here and put in your food in the refrigerator if you need to leave it all day long and like to study on campus all day. They do have a microwave to warm up your food if you need that. And there's a vending machine with some snacks in it. I bought like chocolate bars and stuff like that. You know, if you ever have stressful cravings, you want chocolate, they have it in the vending machine. Let me show you around, and you can see that there's food options out every day, and they also make food in the back. They make like quesadillas and just like hamburgers and salads. I like their salads a lot here. I like the black bean burgers. The black bean burgers, yes. So they have food out every day. And they sell like energy drinks and other coffees and smoothies if you ever need that. It's very useful. And every day the hours fluctuate, so you would just have to check the hours on the door to see what time it's at. They do have a WhatsApp if you wanted to text them and see what they were selling that day. If you didn't want to walk in here, they would tell you the whole menu. Over here we have the microwave. There's coffee over here. There's free coffee for the students, and they also have tea. So if you ever were craving tea, you're able to come here and get some hot water from the machine and make your own tea. They have ice if you wanted to fill up your cup with ice and water. And also on the other side, there's another coffee machine too. So we're gonna be going to this building in a minute after we leave here. This is the student dorm, and we're gonna show you the basketball court on the way. But just for you to see, this is the patio, and like Jordan said, we had the Thanksgiving lunch here. It was amazing. They set it up, they decorated it, they had the tables decorated, had like a photo area for you guys to take pictures. It was very cute. And at nighttime, this lights up. There's lights on the roof here, so you can study here all day long. Campus is open 24/7, and I know students like to study here, especially when there's a nice breeze. So we're gonna bring you over towards the court. If you are able to see it a little bit from here, we'll bring you down there and bring you into the dorms. And that rooftop up there is where we're going to be going to show you the views and other areas around campus to study.
Awesome. All right, Nia, when they were in the cafeteria, I've heard that there are often other places that you can grab coffee or a snack that's not just the cafeteria. Do you know about any other spaces or any other student organizations that helps out with those types of things?
Yeah, so there actually is there's another cafe in building 2. I'm sure we'll stop there on the tour. But it's called Fit Food. So it's a lot of healthy options, but they also have, coffee, tea, things of that nature. So you can get stuff from there. But also the spouses organization, they have a coffee cart, and I think they're changing up the dates, but it's coming back this Tuesday, which we just found out. I'm very excited because I stopped there every single time that I was there. They are truly wonderful. Like, they're so happy to be there, and like they know that we're studying, so they just love having conversations with us. But they have a variety of like coffee options. Like, they have hot, they have cold, they have espresso, like a bunch of different stuff, and they do that usually once or twice a week. And they also they usually have like a breakfast item of some sort.
Cool.
So for the fall, they were doing chocolate chip pumpkin bread.
Oh,
and,
man.
Yeah, all of it's homemade. All of this is homemade, so it's just incredible. Like, they're taking time out of their days to do that for us. So yeah, you can get it from there. Like I said, I love going there. I'm so excited it's coming back on Tuesday.
That's awesome. I've heard, the spouses organization, they do a lot of things to support students throughout the year. I know they host different events. And just for those who are not familiar with the spouses organization, it is a student organization that is basically made up of those who come with, their significant other or family member. You don't have to technically be a spouse. It's really just a matter of you bringing anyone additional with you to campus, and they can join that group and help, support students or just create, a family-like environment down in St. Martin. Nia, do you have anything to add to that?
So outside of that, during around exam time, they usually do like a nacho bar.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, which is super fun. Like, it's a build your own nacho bar, and they just have like every topping you could think of for for nachos. And then they also usually have a bake sale around exam time, so get a little sweet treat to help you keep going throughout the day.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's truly wonderful. Like even the kids, like some of the kids of the students that go here, they love helping out. There's this little girl, she's like the best saleswoman I've ever met. But they're so sweet and they love to, give you things to help you get your day going and just, put a little smile on your face.
Oh, that's
Okay, we're
awesome. So another thing, you said you're really, really involved on campus. You've been part of different student organizations. So can you tell me about where you spend a lot of your time when you're not studying? What are the other things that you get involved in?
Yeah, so I am currently an anatomy TA. So I help out with labs for the lower semesters. I think we're going to stop in the anatomy lab later.
Perfect.
I do that. I'm also a course tutor and a peer tutor. So I also tutor the first and second semester. So that's a lot of fun and it keeps, the knowledge fresh in my brain.
Definitely.
I am in BMSA, which is Black Medical Student Association. We're bringing back the talent show and it's happening in a few weeks. So I'm very excited for that.
Cool.
Yeah. I am also the vice president of OB-GYG, which is the OBGYN interest group. And we do a lot of cool workshops. And actually last night we had one that was electronic fetal monitoring. Wow.
Oh, wow.
But got to listen to a baby's heartbeat and that was awesome. So.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's so great. I've heard, those student organizations, whether it's, based on OB-GYN or cardiology, surgery, et cetera, they put you in real life scenarios or, environments where you can get a little taste of different specialties before, you go into clinicals or residencies. It's a good, way to see if it's something that you're interested in before,
Yes.
Later on down the road. Cool. Well, thank you, Nia. I think we will jump over to campus for a second and we'll be back.
All right, so this is building 2. We're on the ground floor. There are 3 floors in this building. The ground floor has some professor's offices from the clinical medicine aspect where you do patient interviewing, and there are preceptors back there. And we have a lot of ICM rooms that are for 5th semesters to study in and for patients like us to do our patient physical exam. And over here, we have a little bit of a study area where students like to study. And we wanted to mention the ATM machine that we have here as well. We do have a vending machine with some snacks in it. And we have another refrigerator on campus for students to leave their food in all day. So I come here and I study a lot. So I leave my food in this refrigerator all day long. And you can warm it up in a microwave that's on the other side down here. So we're going to bring you into one of the ICM rooms in a second. Before, I just wanted to mention this is another little mini cafeteria that we have in this building called Fit Foods. They have healthier option foods. I've gotten salads and wraps and coffee from here. Have you had food from here too?
Yes, just last week I had a really good oatmeal apple cookie from here. It's really good. They have smoothies and all kinds of healthy stuff.
It's good. So we're gonna bring you into one of the ICM rooms so you can see what it's like. They have some patient beds, and this is where you perform physical exams on patients and where you learn to speak with patients. Actually, we're gonna bring you down to the testing center because this comes first. So we'll show you the testing center. There's 2 of them, A and B. Depending on your last name, you go to one or the other, and we'll introduce you to our colleague down here who's waiting for us. This is one of the testing centers. So as you can see, the computers are set up and you log into the software that the school uses for your exam. And it's usually every other seat that you would sit down and find your spot. Sometimes there might be arranged seatings where you have a seating. I know you experienced that where you they have a seat for you designed.
Yes.
So it's really nice. I like to sit in certain areas where you don't see people walking by, but really the whole entire area feels like that because you have your own little space and cubby for each exam that you take.
I also wanted to mention when you first come in the testing center now they offer N95 masks if you don't have one. Because we are kind of in close quarters while we're taking the exams now. So that's something that's available. Oh, and earplugs. They also provide water, and then I want to show over here, they also have restrooms. So there's no reason to leave the exam center once you've entered until you're finished with your exams.
Oh, perfect. And then in this area, can you prepare too for, I know we get a lot of questions about USMLE. Is this area used at all for prep for that or just taking exams? Can you explain a little bit about what they use this space for specifically?
So this is the testing center for when you have exams. During the semester, you might have an exam that's teacher written, but they have MBME style question. And for the final exams, and it's an MBME like comprehensive exam that is given to the school through MBME. And this space is designated specifically for taking your exams.
Perfect.
As well as proctored quizzes for the clinical medicine, we have to come to the testing center as well. Anything that we need to be proctored for, we will take in the exam center. Otherwise, no one is allowed down here.
Perfect. Okay, Nia, I'm going to jump to a question for you. And you are a TA. So how were you able to get that position and how were you able to become a TA?
So to become a TA for anatomy, you had to, I'm not entirely sure how the requirements are since the curriculum changed, because I am in the legacy curriculum, but for mine, you had to get at least an 80% in the class, and then you had to apply for it and they selected you.
Awesome.
There's a lot of us there because there's, a ton of students and there's plenty of opportunities. You can do, right now, some of the labs are virtual because of COVID, but we have the Complete Anatomy app that we walk through with them. But we are starting Cadaver Lab, I think in a couple weeks with the second semester. So, that's when we're actually going in and seeing the bodies and dissecting and everything. So
awesome. Very, very cool. And I want to jump back to that once I jump back to campus. I'm going to jump back to you. We're going to talk about Cadaver Lab.
All right, so here we're in the auditorium. This is a quiet study space for students to come and study. There are lectures that are held in here for classes that are slightly bigger, and I mean like 100, 120, not like huge. And you have 3 projectors up on the screen. There are events that are held in here, like I attended the intubation event here where you learn how to intubate. They had the OBGYN event in here where you learn how to deliver a baby. And they have Stop the Bleed in here where you learn how to tourniquet a vessel off so that you don't keep bleeding out, and they prepare you for a catastrophe. So you can get certified through that. And they, for example, we have one of the professors coming here tomorrow who's providing an additional lecture for us to help us study for step 1 and comp exam. So she's going to be hosting it in here tomorrow, and we use this for bigger events. We're going to bring you into an ICM room and then up to the second floor. The second floor, we have our ICM department, and that's where we have the simulation lab, which I'm excited to show you guys. So
awesome. So Nia, based off of what they're kind of talking about, so first I want to start with Cadaver Lab. That's hands-on, right? You are in there, you are dissecting. Can you tell me a little bit about what that experience is like for students, as soon as they get to campus? What are they doing? When do they start, etc.?
Yeah, so Cadaver Lab, again, with COVID, things are constantly changing, but they will for sure have it their second semester, and it's because it's systems based. The second semesters are doing they're doing head, neck, musculoskeletal system right now. But the first semesters they did get to see, like my last semester when I was TAing, they did get to see, they were in the Cadaver Lab for a little bit, so they got to see a little bit of the body, but not, the entire thing.
Sure.
Yeah, but you will be in there dissecting. It's not, we're just there to, TAs are just there to watch and supervise and answer any questions you have, but you guys are the ones that are doing everything.
Awesome. That's very cool. I know that that's very exciting because I know not all schools have cadavers anymore. AUC is very lucky to have our Cadaver Lab, and I know we'll probably talk a little bit more about anatomy in a minute, but I wanted to make sure that we got to that before I forgot. So, all right, back to campus.
all right, so this is one of the ICM rooms. So as you can see, there's a table with a bunch of chairs around it. This is where you meet in your small groups with your preceptors, whichever doctor you're working with for the semester. And we meet every day, or maybe it's a couple times a week, but in the back you have the patient beds, and we do have proper draping and PPE and everything that we need in order to assess the patient and like interview them or perform a physical exam on the patient. These rooms are also reserved for fifth semesters to study for the comp exam, which is like a pre-step one assessment. And so like, for example, I'm fifth semester now, I finally have a room. I've waited all my life for this moment. No, I'm kidding. But like, it's really important to have these rooms so that you could study all day here. And on every floor, you have a restroom right here. So we're gonna bring you to the second floor, which is the other part of the ICM department, and it's where the sim lab is. And I'll talk about it in a minute.
But Mia, what would you say is one of the number one pieces of advice you'd give to incoming students into medical school?
Number one piece of advice, probably try not to overwhelm yourself. I am involved in a lot, but I've learned, how to manage my time effectively. Coming to med school, especially here, it's just like, you're out of your comfort zone. It's not something you're probably used to. So it can be a little bit of adjustment period. So don't feel like you need to dive in all at once. It's okay to, get yourself organized before, you join all these clubs and do stuff. But yeah, my best piece of advice is just try to create a schedule that works for you, and don't be afraid to branch out and, not only talk to your peers, but talk to upper semesters. They always have great advice to give. And even professors, like I said, they truly enjoy talking to students, and they will give any advice that they can, because they want us to succeed. They want to see us as doctors. They want us to reach back out, years from now and saying, hey, that, one class really helped me. Like, I remember that one conversation we had. So
Definitely.
So in here is where you meet if you have to interview a patient that day. For example, we have our fourth semesters right now actually interviewing patients and typing up a note from the interview. And this is where we would meet. So the instructions would be on the screen typically for if you got here early and you wanted to just see what to expect from the day. This is our sim lab. We're going into it, and I'm going to introduce you to some of our colleagues who will talk a little bit more about it, or maybe just show us around. I just want to mention that we have a couple things in the sim lab that we do outside of ICM. So for example, there's something called Sim Wars, and Sim Wars is run by AMSA, which is the American Medical Student Association. And that is where you get into groups, you choose your groups, and you decide you want to work together, and you would meet here and ultimately get a patient debrief, the information of why they're there that day. And you would go into the lab, and in the lab, there's actually a simulated patient, and there's usually someone on the other side speaking through as the patient, and you would interview them and basically check their vitals because they would have EKGs on them. You need to check the machine, check their blood pressure, their temperature, and you could assess their lungs and heart as if it was a completely normal patient. And you could actually hear the abnormalities that they have and pathologies they have in them when you're listening to their lungs and their heart. And after you do that, and you interview the patient, you gather the information that you need, then you as a group come together and you figure out what your differential diagnoses are. And then you would go down to the auditorium and wait there and discuss with your colleagues what you think it is, and submit your responses and see if you were able to get the right diagnosis. It's really fun. They have it every semester, and I've participated in it twice, and I thought it was an amazing experience. On top of that, in fifth semester, you do something called morning rounds, and you come in here, and it's very similar case where you just meet with your colleagues that you're in ICM with, and you go together, interview the patient, but this time you have to administer medication and keep the patient alive ultimately, because at that point in fifth semester, you have gathered all the knowledge that you need to treat this patient. So we're going to bring you this way and show you what it's like.
We have examination rooms on this side and on the other side, and basically the students get to come in and interview standardized patients. Right? We usually have briefings and debriefings inside of this room. So this is a small conference room. Unfortunately, we have to set up an open door that I can put these. So we also have mannequin-based simulations.
this is what I was talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is what I was talking about with the mannequins that you perform physical exams on, and you actually treat them like a real patient, or they might code on you. And it's really, really awesome. I was in it last week because we had morning rounds for patients with chest pain and abdominal pain. Next week we have abdominal pain. So it's really cool. You administer medication, you assess their vitals on this mannequin, and there is someone on the other side actually talking to you.
Yes.
And we have a couple of them.
We have
too.
6 rooms of that, yes.
6 rooms.
Yeah, then we have our station to the parallel, that the MSPs, we call them, they are the ones that are actually manipulating the speech of the mannequin. And then you have an embedded nurse in the room, and she acts as your nurse and helps with medication and labs and so on. So you get to experience and their experience of emergency room, or
Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right, and we're gonna bring you upstairs to our anatomy department, so we'll send you back to the host.
Awesome. So Nia, you've been in the sim lab before. Have you been able to tell me what has been one of your favorite experiences so far being in that environment?
It's just really cool because you feel like you're actually a doctor, you're simulating real scenarios. I actually have it's called Harvey. Well, that's technically what the body is called, but I have a Harvey simulation later. And you get to listen to different heart sounds. So murmurs, just different things of that nature. And it's so cool because you're finally like actually hearing it, like seeing it on paper versus hearing it is 2 completely different things. And we have technology these days that actually lets you actually listen to that. So you know what to look for when you're actually going to clinicals and stuff.
Awesome. And here we are. Now we're in your spot in the anatomy lab. So let's chat about it. I'll bring it back to campus.
So this is actually called the dry lab, and this is where the histology labs take place, and some anatomy events also take place in here. We actually have a couple machines that will stimulate the human body and the anatomy of it if you want to assess the vital, the organs, the veins, the artery. You can actually cut it up and see it how you want to help you envision it a little more. I was an anatomy lab TA for 2 semesters, and I actually was able to take part of the cadaver dissection. Since my first semester was remote, I didn't get to participate while I was in anatomy, but next semester when I came to the island, I was able to take the elective dissection, and we have that in the wet lab. So imagine it looking a little bit like this, where you have the table set up and you would just have the bodies on it and separate, and you would have like 5 or 6 students per table. And we have some head TAs that are running the department. So there are students that excelled in the course and honored, and they were chosen to be head TAs, and you have other TAs that help out as well. It's an amazing experience. As I heard you guys talking about earlier, that the cadaver lab is really special, and not a lot of medical schools have it. So it is a huge advantage to actually physically see, feel, and understand the human body. And I think it really helped me understand and put together everything once I was able to actually physically feel the anatomy of a person.
We're going to jump over to Nia. Now that you're in your 3rd semester and you kind of can see, for example, USMLE exams coming up and what you're going to have to do at the end of your 5th semester, students typically take a leave of absence, right? What do you know about that time? What do you expect to do during that time after your 5th semester?
Yeah, so that time pretty much dedicated to taking step 1, studying and then taking step 1. I don't know, I guess Jessica's talked a little bit about comp, but comp is pretty much our version of a practice step per se. So we have to take that in our 5th semester. So that's just preparing us, for step, which we will take in the 6th semester when we technically have the leave of absence. Some people choose to stay on island during that time, just because they feel that they'd be in a better study environment being on campus, which I completely understand. But we don't, it's not mandatory that we are here. But that time is very much dedicated to studying. Just eat, sleep, and study.
Definitely.
And hopefully taken past step.
Definitely. And I think you bring up a really good point, and I have a lot of conversations with this, like this with students, when they're deciding to go to the Caribbean for medical school, when they're deciding to leave home, leave their comfort zone. A big part of it is, you know, being in that zone to study and being
Mhm.
able to kind of move away from distractions. So yes, maybe some students decide to stay on campus and some decide to go home. I think you bring a really good point of being in your best study zone, whether it's for your first 5 semesters of medical school, kind of removing yourself, going to St. Martin, being around people who are in a like-minded state.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I think you brought up a good point. I'm going to jump over to campus.
All right. Hi, everyone. So I just wanted to come and show you what a dorm room looks like, a dorm room on campus. So if you come in, it comes with a stove and refrigerator. This one has a little bit of extra furniture, but it comes with a couple couches, a blender, a coffee maker, and the microwave. And then you come in the bedroom and you get 2 twin XL beds to make a king size bed.
Wow.
Yeah, you get a nice desk and chair to study, a place to put your clothes. And then this is the restroom.
Awesome. And is
And so-
this is a single, right, Jordan?
Yes, this is a single. I believe the doubles have a balcony. So if you get a roommate, you get a balcony as well as a big closet
Awesome.
with a safe. Keep your things.
Very good.
All right. And then also, I just want to take you all upstairs so that you're able to see the dorm study rooms. Every dorm comes with a few study rooms you can book on the library website as well. You get to 5 hours a day. But if you have like a study partner or something, they can book 5 hours as well. So you can have that room for the entire day.
Awesome. So it's kind of like it is apartment style living. I know when we think of dorms and we think of university life, undergrad, I remember I lived in like a dorm that was like the size of a pizza slice. It was super small. This is real life, like apartment living. You get your bathroom, you get a kitchen, a living room, fully furnished and all of that. And there's also off-campus housing too. All right, Jessica, I see you're ready to go.
So I'm over here at the basketball court. This is one of the fun spots on campus that I'd like to go. And we have intramural leagues actually, where we set up like 3-on-3 and we play games against each other. All the students get together, whoever wants to sign up. And for example, tomorrow I have my first game here and we play until the finals and they keep track. The students, they do have like the AUC Wellness Committee and the AUC Academics, the sports and everything, they all come together and get students together to run this. And they have soccer leagues as well that they play and volleyball leagues. The volleyball is on the beach and the soccer is off campus, but the basketball court is right here on campus. And students have basketball chats that we communicate with each other to just say, hey, do you guys want to play today? And we'll show up. And then next thing you know, there'll be a bunch of students here, but it is on campus. So we do wear our mask and we do be careful and cautious with the COVID protocols to make sure that we're all safe. And we are going to head up to, and we're outside the dorms, by the way. Jordan jumped in to show you guys the dorm. So we are going to head up to the roof and show you guys that too.
So yeah, I've heard a lot about the sports and making sure that everyone has, whether it's sports or, an extracurricular, something to get involved in outside of the classroom. It's important to balance your time. And we always encourage, if students feel stressed, do something that's healthy for you, get out, get involved, meet friends, socialize. But another thing too is if it ever feels, stressful, we have the Wellness Counseling Center, we have advisors, we have so many different people on campus to help you if, you're a little overwhelmed and you just need to like talk it out, or if you have anything, you need to work with while you're on campus, there are people there for you to help out. Nia, do you have anything to say about that? Or do you know anyone who are not, like, have you heard of any other things that students have used in that sense?
But they are more than willing to help you. They provide, counseling services. I've reached out to them just to figure out how to, medication management, like being on an island. They're very good about helping connect you to the people that you need to talk to about certain things.
Definitely.
Truly wonderful people, very supportive.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks for sharing. I think that's an important resource that students should, know it's there if they want to use it later on down the road. It's there. So thank you.
This is called, St. Martin is called the Friendly Island.
Yep.
And they 100% mean that. Like, I did not realize that how true that was. But from the second I got off to the plane, like everyone was welcoming me, like asking if I needed help with anything and like needed direct, like, and they're doing it out of the kindness of their heart. It's not like they're looking for money or anything. Like everyone here is truly so nice and so willing to help you. Like I said, security, as soon as I got to AUC, they literally carried my bags up to my dorm room for me.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And then the locals here, like they will love telling you about, their favorite, hidden gems on the island. My friends and I, we love to like explore the different spots on the island, because this is like a once in a lifetime experience, so in the free time that we have, we like to go to different places and just see stuff. Like we've gone hiking, we have like the steepest zip line in the world here.
Wow.
So there's lots of, different touristy things to do, and everyone is always willing to help you out with anything, whether that be, your peers, uppers, locals, professors. Security, like, love them. They are amazing. Like, they are the best at their jobs. We have a shuttle here, the AUC shuttle.
Oh, yeah.
And they'll take you to the clinic if you're sick, or if you need to go to the pharmacy, they take you there. And then after 6 p.m., they'll take you to a place called Maho, or to Port Akupakoy, and there's a bunch of restaurants there. So if you want to go get dinner with your friends and you don't have a car and don't want to walk, like AUC shuttle can take you there, and they also can come pick you up. You just text them and then they'll come and get you. It's truly awesome.
Oh, that's so great. And I'm surprised to hear, how easy it is. Like you can text the cafeteria to learn about the menu. You can text the people the colleagues, the staff to come pick you up with the shuttle, all via text, which is actually really nice and simple.
Yeah, it's very nice, very convenient.
But over here, view of our lovely island of St. Martin. In this little strip here, this is the bay, and we have part of the French side there, and just past that little island strip is the ocean. And we do have other islands on that side, and cruise ships sometimes go there. And all of these mountains are basically like different areas that you can go. One of them up top is the fort, and you can go to the fort. It's a beautiful view. It's a view of the entire island. I know a lot of students like to go there, and they actually have the steepest zip lining in the world over here on one of the mountains. And there's also places that you can go called Pick Paradise, which is like a beautiful view to go to. It's like a little camping trail, and you can camp up to the top and get a beautiful view of the island. Also, we do have like Devil's Cupper over there on the other side of the island, and that's like a ocean spot that you can go, and it's almost like a little hot tub looking area inside the ocean. If you look it up and Google it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It's beautiful. It's a little hike to go there, but it's very fun and it's secluded. So me and my husband, we like to hike and go over there. So right here, you can see that there's gazebos that students like to study at. It is safe if it ever rains, and there's parking lot for students to park their car. Just to give you some orientation, here we have building 1 with the patio, and then out there you can see the gazebos that students like to study at. Also down here is our IT department, which Jordan's going to talk about because she knows a lot about the IT department.
Yes. So the IT department, they really work with you if you're having any issues with the Canvas site, which is what we use to get on our classes. Or if you're not taking your exams in the testing center, you need to provide your own laptop. If your laptop is messed up, which this happened to me last semester, if my laptop is messed up, they will loan you one and sign you out one so that you're able to take your exams or able to study for that matter. So anything that you need IT wise, you can email them. They have an email address, and or you can stop by their office and pick up a laptop.
And chargers. If your charger breaks, they do give you extra chargers. Like I know my friend's MacBook charger broke and they were able to get one from there and borrow it. So this was AUC campus today. Thank you for joining me and Jordan. I hope you guys had a wonderful experience. We had a great time touring and giving you guys a tour. If you have any questions, you're always welcome to reach out to one of us.
Awesome. You all have done such a great job, and I'm so happy that you were all able to make it today. I know you're busy medical students. Your time is super valuable. So thank you for taking the time. And again, I just want to review. We are still accepting applications for our May 2022 term. There is an MCAT waiver, and admissions is happy to discuss that with you on a one-on-one basis. We do have our applications open for September, for January, and of course May. But thank you so much for joining us today. We are super excited to work with you and hopefully get you started on your AUC journey and kick off medical school for you. Nia, thank you so much for joining as well from the remote location and acting as a host. And for everyone, Maddie, Jordan, Jessica, everyone who's been, Michelle, everyone who's been part of this, we really appreciate your time. So have a great day, and we will be back hopefully again soon. Oh, bye everybody. Thank you so much. We'll
Bye,
talk to you soon.
thank you.